We don't really want to spend our money in a country that is undertaking certain actions within the world, that's destabilizing the world and likely undertaking illegal activity onto other countries.
We've certainly curtailed our plans to visit the United States and buy goods from that country.
Yeah. Do you have any plans to go to the States in this?
No, I do not. I wouldn't want to. I think it's challenging to go back there now. There's too many questions, searching your phones, asking what you're doing. It's just not worth the hassle. It's intimidating crossing the border. Whether you're, even when you don't have anything to be worried or intimidated about, it can be stressful.
It's kind of scary with all the news I'm hearing and everything. I am an international student, so I do have get a visa and then go in there. So there's a lot of things I have to do before I travel to the U.S. And then if I get to the U.S., there might be other problems there as well. So I just trying to be safe.
I moved to the United States in the early 90s, and then I just moved back here just this last summer. I didn't like the politics. I didn't like a lot of the changes in the regulations and stuff, and it just felt safer to be back in Canada.
I have kids and grandkids, and they change their mind about going to Disney because my daughter says, I absolutely refuse to go to the States. She doesn't feel safe. I hate to point out Trump, but it's one of the obvious reasons. If the politics changes in the States, for sure I think we would go back.
Latest political action with going over to Venezuela, it's just what? What's next, And so you don't know, because that was very unexpected, it seems like. So, who knows?
Very unstable, and instability in any country with politics makes you question whether you would go there and take children or your grandkids there. It wouldn't be a wise choice.
I don't want to get down there and not be able to get back.
I'm not afraid to go down. She and my views on Trump are a little bit different, so I don't have the same issues with him as she does. So, yeah, I would not fear to go down, and I'm not afraid to cross the border either. I liked shopping in North Dakota.
Any specific spots?
Why not? Part of the problem is the exchange on the dollar. That makes it harder to go down because your money doesn't go as far, right? Anything they could do? Well, if they had hotel rooms on par with Canadian money, I would be down there.
How do you dehumanize people that have been friends with the United States of America for quite a while? How do you do that? Ever since Donald Trump became the president of the United States of America, all he has done is to dehumanize Canadian people. He has become so hostile towards Canadian people. He has even detained some Canadians. He has even deported some Canadians. He's even, putting tariffs against Canadians. Canadians have had a robust relationship with the United States of America for over 100 years. But right now, out of all the countries, you become hostile towards the Canadian people. That is so bad. Thank you so much, guys, for coming in. I love you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much, guys. The orange bouffon is too much. Too much. Thank you so much, Canadians.
Canada is either super petty and been able to hide that from the whole world for decades, or America is finding out exactly how vindictive Canada can be when you mess with them. Because right now, as it stands, I have a few posts about the trade embargoes and the tariffs and the whole bit. And this comment right here is just the tip of the iceberg, okay? I have hundreds of people telling me that they're boycotting all the materials, that they're not purchasing any of the foods. It goes on and on and on. Grocery stores are actually labeling in all of the aisles. Anything that was made in America, they're labeling so people know not to buy it. Okay, that's how upset the Canadian people are. Okay, to put this in dollars and cents, last year, we exported $300 billion to Canada with services and goods and materials. We're like this. If they boycott and don't buy that, what's that going to do to our economy? What happens when we don't have that money source coming in anymore because Canada decides not to come back? And guess what? Their tourism, they don't want to come here anymore. I've got tons of people saying that as well. There's also people that want to sell their winter homes and don't come back to Florida ever again. If you're French Canadian, cool. But the rest of you, we're going to miss you as well as your tourism dollars. And no one seems to be talking about it. What do you guys think? Let me know. Leave a comment, repost so more people can comment.
Canadians are very kind people. They're very nice and good people. But you see what they say, never take kindness for weakness. Unfortunately, Donald Trump took Canadians' kindness for weakness. Maybe he thought that, oh, Canadians will not go anywhere. Oh, Canadians will not do anything. That is what he thought. Right now, Canadians, they have boycotted their products. They have boycotted their services. They have boycotted every single product. And right now, they are only promoting Canadians' businesses and services, including tourism. I know there are some people there who said, oh, Canadians love Donald Trump. The Canadians that love Donald Trump is like this, small like this, a small number of like this, small number of Canadians love Donald Trump. Majority of them, they don't like this guy. They don't like this guy at all. Canadians, majority, they don't like the orange buffoon at all. They don't like him. They don't like how he does his things. They don't like his attitude, and they don't like his treatment towards the Canadians, the Canadian people. And they are not retaliating. They are not backing down, including the tourism. They have boycotted the tourism. Canadians are not going to America. They are not going there.
Today, Gavin Newsom announced that the state of California is launching an international campaign to welcome Canadians to travel to the state of California. In his announcement, he basically said, we're different than the rest of the country. Please come and visit us. We respect you, and there's something for everybody here in the state of California. This seems like a nice sentiment, but I have to read you the comment section in his video where he announced it, because Canadians are not going to mess around with the United States. This comment says, sorry, the United States government can't even protect their own legal documented citizens. What makes us Canadians rest assured that you can guarantee our safety? And my Canadian family visited Anaheim and Palm Springs every year for the last 33 years, but now it's not even safe to cross the border. We may be welcome to California, but we are targets for the United States of America. Another one says, I always go to California for concerts, but I just can't with your president. Your country has accepted the suspension of the rule of law. The administration is now ignoring Supreme Court rulings and bragging about it. Nope, not until you are a stable nation again. Mr. Newsom, do you realize that the United States is currently ranked 132 out of 195 on the safety index, while Canada is 11th, right? Thanks, but hard pass. Why don't you visit us instead? We don't jail our visitors. So there you go. Even Canadians, the nicest people on the planet, they don't even want to visit the state of California, where we are liberal AF and not on board with Donald Trump's policies. It's too bad. It's too bad, guys, that we're in this spot.
Yes, I feel you. I feel you. Canadians are the most kindest people on earth. Very amazing people. But look at what Donald Trump is doing. Donald Trump is so hostile to Canadians. And right now, with the ICE, there's one Canadian that was detained unlawfully. He had everything. He had all the documents right. He was legally in the United States of America. But because, I don't know what happened. The person got detained and deported. They mistook him with someone else. Nobody wants to have such an experiences, man. Nobody wants to go through such kind of experiences. It's just too traumatizing. Imagine getting dragged, harassed, put into camps, then get deported, only for those people to realize, oh, we did this by mistake. This was not right. No one deserves that kind of treatment. Yeah? Canadians do not deserve that kind of treatment, please. Yeah? I don't know. You've messed up, man. You've messed up. These guys are just so amazing people. And I love Canadians. Thank you, God, for bringing Canadians to my life. Thank you so much, God. Thank you. And thank you for all the Canadians that are subscribing and sharing my videos. Bless up every time. God bless you.
Canada and the Canadian people, your boycott on tourism in the United States explained right now. Canada and the Canadian people, let's do some hard numbers. Last year, 2024, you brought in $20 billion in money to the United States with your tourism, okay, and purchasings of stuff around the tourist industry. That's a lot. Whether you're talking about going into different national parks, you're talking about going to Disney World, anything. $20 billion last year, okay? What does that look like in the practicality? That was 140,000 jobs that were created to support you guys coming into the continental United States. What does that look like as far as we had 20 million Canadians coming into the United States. Now, I've been posting about Canada and the outcome of the boycott, and I've had hundreds of people commenting about how they're traveling to other countries to spite the boycott and make sure they didn't spend their money in the United States.
Thou shalt not judge a man by the color of his skin, but by the contempt of his character. Please, don't judge my skin color. Don't judge my accent. Yeah. I love Canadian people. I love Canadian people so much, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, and of course, US has suffered immensely. 20 billion US dollars is a lot of money. The orange buffoon, you are messing up the economy of the United States of America. You literally wanted to wage war to the Canadians, and you thought that Canadians will just back down and they will not do anything. Guess what? They have retaliated. And let me tell you, the amount of Canadians that are supporting Donald Trump is very small. Very small. Very small, my dear. Very small. Canadians are very serious about this boycott, and nothing is going to stop them.
If you are Canadian and you've been slipping with your boycotting of purchasing American goods and services, or if you've been traveling down to the United States for vacations, I want you to watch a video, because hopefully it'll light a fire back up under your ass and you remember why we were doing this in the first place. Because we need to get back to that and push even harder, because this is not cool. Watch this.
But Canada has taken advantage of the United States of America for far too long. And they've taken advantage of the United States in a couple of different ways. Number one, they have allowed us to subsidize their entire military, their entire security.
Not a fucking penny. Ever. The United States does not subsidize Canada at all, let alone our military. Show us one penny. Show us a ledger line where the United States cut Canada a check to subsidize our military spending. It's pathetic that the only one that seems to be dumber than Donald Trump on these topics is the Vice President, J.D. Vance.
Canada pays virtually nothing, at least until a couple of years ago, for their own security, which means we had to foot the bill for that security.
And let's be brutally honest here for a second, okay? The only country that Canada needs protecting from, the only country that is a military threat to Canada, is America.
Is that fair to you and your kids that you have to pay for the military of a foreign country?
You know what's not fair to you and your kids? You know what's not fair? That you have a president and a vice president that gets on television and lies straight to your fucking face.
But why don't you have a little bit more self-sufficiency? And I think that makes complete and total sense.
You know, you make a really good point, J.D. Vance. So we really hope that America will understand when Canada starts to develop our own resources, refining our own resources. Yeah, bringing finished products to market. Yeah, so that ride with American corporations making tens of billions of dollars every single year off the back of cheap Canadian commodities comes to a fucking halt. Yeah, when we start selling them elsewhere as refined, finished products.
The second thing the president said is, if we're going to be true friends.
Yeah, just shut the fuck up with that shit. You know what? I am so sick and tired of American politicians, especially at the highest level, talking fucking shit about our fucking country, undermining our sovereignty at every fucking turn, and then standing up and having the nerve to say crap like this. You know what? If you are Canadian and you are slacking on your boycotting of American goods and services, get back on the horse. Yeah, get back on the horse. Because that is...
It's such a shame. It is such a shame for J.D. Vance to talk about subsidy to Canadians. It is such a shame. After all Canadians have done to the United States of America, after all the robust relationship Canada has had with the United States of America, this man, J.D. Vance, can stand on the podium and talk about subsidy. Oh, we give subsidy to Canada for military. Canadians are saying they have not received a penny from you people. Stop lying. Stop lying. Huh? That's why you are even detaining some Canadians. That is so bad, man. And it's good that Canada should continue boycotting. Canada should continue boycotting USA right and left, from tourism, from products, from services, everything. Non-stop.